Back here on CBS Sports HQ, built by the Home Depot, we're talking Week 10 winners and losers. Let's start with Vandy. The Commodores continue to make history this season. They beat Auburn 17-7 on Saturday. Vandy now has wins over Auburn and Alabama in the same season for the first time since 1955. They're also bowl eligible for the first time since 2018. Time now to bring in CBS Sports football analyst and two-time Super Bowl champ Bryant McFadden and CBS Sports college football playoff expert Jerry Palm to discuss their winners before we get into the losers. Jerry, I'll start with you. Who is your biggest winner for Week 10, man?
It's Ohio State because they went into Happy Valley and got a huge win and stayed alive in the Big Ten race and really stayed alive as a potential college football playoff team, although they may have been alive anyway. But still, that's a huge, huge win for Ohio State in trying to get into the college football playoff and possibly still get a bye in the college football playoff.
Well, for me, when you look at what was going on in other power conferences, I'll go to the ACC. On a national stage, primetime game at night, SMU playing against undefeated Pitt, the Panthers. When you look at what they've done, offensively generating a lot of points, defensively very, very feisty, opportunistic group. None of that showed up in D-Town Boogie, which is Dallas. SMU, they're my biggest winner because they needed to take care of their business. They needed some help also, but most importantly, taking care of your business against an undefeated team, they were able to do so, putting up almost 50 points against Pitt. And then when you look at the ACC in totality, we know everyone else is chasing who? The Miami Hurricanes to try to get to the ACC championship game. Before tonight's matchup, SMU, they had an outside chance. But because of what they did and also getting some outside help, now they control their own destiny. If they win out, they will get that invitation to compete for an ACC championship game. This will be a huge achievement for SMU in their very first year in the ACC.
Isn't it crazy? Because I know going into the year, I was not expecting SMU to contend for an ACC championship game. But that is why you play the games. And speaking of playing the games, James Franklin probably hates playing against Ohio State because he just dropped his 8th straight to the Buckeyes. And he even got into it with a fan. So not a really good day for him and the Nittany Lions. He was asking, dude, what's your name? Like, if you want to be calling me out, give me your name. Student, the fan wouldn't do it.
Smart guy.
You talking about a student?
Yeah, don't give him your name. You might never get a chance to go to another Penn State game.
Okay, all right. So I'm glad you brought that up. How do you think James Franklin should have handled that?
I think he handled it the right way. He didn't have a back and forth. In a polite way, he asked the fan, what is your name? Now, why he asked the fan that, we don't know. But instead of going back and forth, you're a head coach of a big-time collegiate program. There's no reason to go back and forth with a fan who don't know as much as you know in regards to getting guys ready and winning ball games. I think he handled it the right way.
Okay, all right. Yeah, some people don't, but I feel like, it wasn't anything outlandish. Yeah. He just wanted his name, and the guy wouldn't give him to him, so that was that, and then he walked off. But he is one of the losers on Saturday, Jerry. Who is your biggest loser?
Yeah, so many to choose from. Penn State, Iowa State, Texas A&M. But the biggest loser's got to be Clemson because Clemson took a loss at home in which really they got dominated. I mean, the score, Clemson added a couple of late scores, but they were never really in this game against Louisville at home. They got dominated earlier in the season, game 1 with Georgia, and now Clemson has no say in its own fate. So they're going to, if they go 10-2, they have arguably lost to the 2 best teams on their schedule, although Pitt is coming up. They have no chance to play for their title unless they get help from Miami or SMU. And if they just sit there at 10-2 and they're the 3rd best team in this league and they don't really have a great win, I don't see them getting in the college football playoff. So they're unquestionably the biggest loser today.
Yeah, Jerry, I'm right there with you. They're my biggest loser as well to all the points that you just gave us because they control their own destiny. And you played against a Louisville team that has been competitive, but Louisville has found ways to lose ball games. They had no answer for Louisville's rushing attack, and offensively they couldn't get things going as well, and they played at home. So now when you factor in Clemson losing tonight, I talked about SMU needing the help. Clemson gave SMU all the help they needed. They have no room for error. But even if that's the case, even if they went out against Virginia Tech, Pitt, and South Carolina, those are the 3 notable games.
Right.
They still might not get a shot to get to the postseason, to get into the postseason.
Hey, maybe they should dive into the transfer portal more. I'm just saying, Dallas Sweeney.
You got to whisper that. Don't say that too loud.
Hey, I ain't scared no coach, bro. Come on now. Hey, but that is all for winners and losers. Bryant McFadden, Jerry Palm, always a pleasure talking with you, gentlemen. So here are the remaining unbeaten teams in college football. Oregon, Miami, I feel like they have 9 lives. BYU, Indiana, are they going to be able to win out? I don't know. And then Army. All these teams unbeaten at the moment.